Well, after a dramatic and action-packed race 1, the wind has started to blow for race number 2, round 3 of the Kumho Tyres Australian Formula 3 Championship. Tanda Sport hard at work. Neil McFadyen, he has got some work to do in this one. Nathan Caratti, championship leader after round 1. Not quite as competitive as I think he'd like in round 2, but having a pretty good weekend here. McFadyen will go from pole alongside Caratti. Nick Percat, an astonishing third place in the Team BRM number 4 car. Head of Tanda as we go back down through the field to the national class cars. Chris Gilmore, pole in that class. Andrew Mill, pole in the trophy class. A good field of cars, 17 to take the start. Everyone has managed to get back out on the racetrack after race 1, except for Justin Tate. A slow start for the second time today for our former championship leader, Neil McFadyen. Slow away, and they're 4 wide down to turn 1. But it's Nathan Caratti. He's got a brilliant start and leads them down into turn 1.
Yeah, he's got a marginal lead there, and 4 wide again.
That's brave stuff. The tight part of the racetrack into turn 2. Solid start from James Winslow, the Astudi Motorsport car. First time he has jumped into this car, and first time in anger he's really raced it after race 1. Didn't get too many laps in there, but Caratti will lead them to the bridge. Tanda looking for a move on Percat. Can't get it done. The walk and short performance. Oh, Caratti's off. Caratti off, and Winslow takes the lead.
Is McFadyen going to make the move? Oh no, he's just tucking behind him there.
But the pressure on though for McFadyen, the Piccola Scuderia car. 2 times round, he's made difficult starts, stalled in race 1. Do you think it's sort of got in his head a little bit after making that bad start in race 1 that he was just super careful to get the car off the line in race 2?
Yeah, that's right. He's kept it clean now, and he's made it up to second position, so he's doing very well there.
So a better start. You can see the spits of rain coming down. The weather is blowing in around Oran Park. This is the last thing they need with Wings and Slicks race cars on slick tyres and a track that may well get damp pretty quickly. We'll keep an eye skywards as we look at Lee Farrell. He's chasing down a couple of cars in the battle for the national class. That's John Whelan, young Kiwi driver who's been super impressive in his debut. It's been a terrible round for Lee off in race 1 we saw earlier. Beats the car at this point in the racetrack and looking to come back in this one. How hard is it to pass here? Because it looks pretty difficult from the outside.
Mate, I'll tell you what, it's not easy because the ripples are big, and you know, it's not really made for a Formula 3 car, so it's not forgiving once you run over a single ripple, so it can make some damage.
And difficult to run close behind these cars with the hole and the dirty air, I guess they call it, that comes off the back of the rear wing and the drag these cars create. It's hard to run up behind someone, and of course that's what you need to do to try and make a pass, and at places like this that's what makes it so difficult. Weather staying consistent at the moment, but the clouds are looming in as we take a look at Nick Percat, great young Formula 4 driver, joined Team BRM. He raced with BRM in Formula 4 last season, driving with Sonic now as Matt Sophie gets a big sideways moment coming onto the start-finish straight.
All evenly gapped too, aren't they, down the straight? So you know, they're trying to push on, but it just shows how competitive and how close they are.
New generation of Formula 3 cars in Australia this year, and it's really stepped things up a notch in the Kumho Tyres Australian Formula 3 Championship. The 2005, 6 and 7 specification cars have come in, and they've come from all different sorts of teams as well. We mentioned McFadyen's earlier. Leanne Tander's car has come from the High-Tech team, British Championship winning team from last season. Nick Percat's car there in the signature European Formula 3 team. Matt Sophie's car from Carlin Motorsport. So the great thing is they've had all these little developments put in, little winglets here and there, and it's really sort of Formula 1-esque. It's great for anoraks like me who love that kind of thing. Dramas for Farrell, yeah. The No Fear number 6 car from BRM. He is off the racetrack, the young Irish driver. A terrible weekend, and this will, if he can finish the race, will hand Chris Gilmore a massive, massive lead in the Formula 3 national class. Of course, plenty of prizes on stake this season too. Chris, 40 grand for the winner of the national class, 80 for the Formula 3 champion.
Yeah, trust that to happen when I'm not around, eh?
You've got yourself an A1 GP car to play with. I think you're all right. As we look at Chris Gilmore on screen, the Queenslander, always committed to the Formula 3 championship and back on board this year. Car with some preparation assistance from Artec, but Chris and his dad Errol working hard as always in the slipstream now. Caratti closing in behind James Winslow. The number 11 car just looks to the inside, and that would have been a case of him just positioning his car just to the inside to perhaps try and distract James under braking.
Yeah, well, if you can try and get a good run on out of the last corner and try and get a slipstream going, you know, turn 2 is the place to make it stick. So you know, you just got to concentrate hard and try and keep the focus on trying to get a good run out of the last corner.
But turn one in these cars at this track is pretty much flat, so not
flat. It's not pretty much flat. It is flat, and you know, you would not want to go off there in one of these.
Here's a dice.
Come on, Matt.
Matt Sophie putting the pressure on Stuart Costera, the Transwest Racing driver. Actually, it was interesting. Cameron McConville, V8 supercar driver, jumped in the second car from Transwest Racing, their 04 car, and had a bit of a steer at Oran Park at the test day. And you can imagine the eyes of a V8 driver jumping into one of these cars. Yeah. You've done both. How do they compare? Or don't they?
Well, you know, they're all competitive in their own sense, but you know, it's quite different racing, and you know, you got to adjust yourself to suit your style of driving in the particular car you're driving. So it's not easy, but you know, it all takes time and experience, and these guys all seem to have the experience, and they just put on a great show, don't they?
Yeah, it's been a good race. Whoa, Costera's got some massive oversteer in that car and got it very, very sideways twice off the bridge, held onto it, but he lost the position to Matt Sophie. Sophie moves up one, Costera back one as they come through a bit of lap traffic. The 35 car's been a bit taily all day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, you know, but just referring to what you were saying earlier about the cars being different to the V8s, these cars probably do not take any of the ripples on this track, whereas the V8s will be going straight over them.
Yeah, they certainly shortcut the track a little bit more. These cars, though, round here, upwards of 5 seconds a lap faster than the V8 supercars, which shows how quick they are. Battle for the lead continues. Whoa, Caratti, that was a touch. Coming through turn 3, it is so close between the top 3 cars now. And Neil McFadyen has recovered from his slow start, and the championship leader coming into the round is putting the pressure on Nathan Caratti. Meanwhile, Caratti, the Team BRM driver, putting the pressure on James Winslow. In 4th place is Nick Percat, Leanne Tander is 5th, Sophie is 6th, Costera is 7th, and Chris Gilmore is your national class leader in 8th place.
In the 04.
Yep, doing a great job. 04 cars, the 2004 cars for the national class. This is a great story for Winslow, though, after he's lost his sponsor after the first 2 rounds of the championship. Jumped into this seat when it became available for Studi Motorsport. The car only arrived in the country 3 or 4 weeks before this round, and they had a very rushed time, I guess, to get it ready. They didn't do a rushed job. They're a very professional team, but it was a very quick process to build this car up. It's running a Renault engine, probably the only 07 spec car in the world doing that. James has jumped in. He's been quick all weekend long, and he's currently leading race 2. It's been a great performance.
Yeah, it is a process, isn't it, preparing the car prior to the weekend. You know, you all got to get everything right, all the bits and pieces. So, you know, if you don't get that right, you know, you could be 10 slow, and that can make a dramatic difference.
And not enough credit, I guess, is paid to the teams and the engineers that work on these cars to set them up and make them go quickly. Here's a car moving pretty quickly on its own. Is Ash Samadi, the Shell Racing Solutions car from the Studi Motorsport. Daniel Schultz drove this car for the first 2 rounds this year, and at the crash in race 1 has rebounded particularly well. He's currently in a podium position in the Formula 3 national class.
Corner, if you can get a good run out of there, is, you know, try and keep nose to tail and try and get a slipstream going, and try and tuck it into turn 2. Because I think
or tuck it into turn 2 like that. No worries.
Not on the exit though.
It's close at the front though, as we begin the final lap, and Nathan Caratti still piling on relentless pressure.
Can he get the slipstream?
He's got to run, looks to the inside. Winslow goes heavily defensive. Final lap at Oran Park, and the pressure is on for our race leader. He will be holding on with everything James Winslow has got, and he's got a lot to give. He has heaps of Formula 3 experience. He's a champion in Asia. He's a champion in the ARP series in Great Britain. He's done a lot of racing. He's even raced in A1GP. He's done some rookie driving stuff for Team GBR, your rivals. But he's doing a great job and grimly holding on from Nathan Caratti. He's pulled a couple of car lengths over Nathan Caratti over the dogleg for what will be a hugely emotional victory for not only James Winslow but the Studi Motorsport team. Checkered flag will fly, and James Winslow wins at Oran Park. Fantastic drive to beat Nathan Caratti to the line in a very, very close race.
I'm just really pleased to repay back the guys who have put faith in me driving the car. To be honest, this is their victory. It's good for me to win, but I'm just pleased for the guys with a new car, new team. I'm just really pleased they've done a fantastic job this weekend.